Okay, good afternoon. This is Francis Patrick. I'm the brand and communications coordinator here at Solutions Thug. So, in the course of this training, we will also be joined, apart from our main speaker, who is going to come next, Mr. Elia. We're going to be joined by Mr. Dennis Mutua. Mr. Dennis Mutua is an expert in the drone technology, especially in the inspection sector. So he works both in Tanzania and in Kenya. So we'll be lucky enough to have him here today, both with our expert, Mr. Elia from Solutions Stack. So I will welcome him shortly. We'll begin with the first part with him, and when time is due, Mr. Dennis will join us. Thank you everybody for joining. Should you have any questions during the course of this webinar, you can just write it down. I'll be taking notes, and I'm recording this for the sake of output and for the sake of sharing these materials with you later as part of the summary and as part of content that is going to be used in learning. So welcome, Mr. Elia, and I hope you guys enjoy this webinar.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Francis and Mr. Humphrey. I am Elia Lema, Engineer Elia Lema from Solutions Tag. I am Asset Integrity Management Coordinator, and today I'll be the presenter, and also I'll be joined by Mr. Mumo from Kenya afterwards. Mr. Mumo, are you with us? Please, Francis, can you check up with him so that he can join? But also, I see we have people from different industries and sectors. I wish I could hear maybe from each one of you, from what industries and what you do. Roughly, I give 15 seconds for each person. So I'll be just calling each one by name. If that's okay, then you give us a little bit of introduction, where you're from, just for 15 seconds, sorry. So I'll start with Anehada Tamburani. Please welcome. Okay, I think I can see. We have Thomas Munda. Angel Lupembe.
Well, yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Engineer Angel Henry Lupembe. I am an expert from mechanical engineer, but also mechatronics. But I'm now conducting my intern at medical department store as the head of medical gloves examination or surgical industry. So it's new, but I'm joining you as a firefighting technician. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Arafat Tathmani. Unfortunately, I can't hear him. We have El Bariki. Mr. El Bariki, welcome.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Bariki Seloka. I am the managing director of Eli Green Tech Company Limited. We are the company which provide drone services here in Tanzania. We base in agriculture, but also we provide drone services in other sectors. So I've joined to get insights on what you guys are doing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Barik. This is nice. We have Mr. Gerard Matthias.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Gerard Matias. I'm a HSC expert. I'd just like to hear on what you're going to present today and get the experience on your field. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gerard. So this is wonderful. Yes, I can hear you, Hada Tamburan. You're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
My name is Arnhada Tamburani. I am from the Philippines, and I work at the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources, and Energy, specifically at land management, um, as land management officer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sane. You're welcome. Lastly, I'll finish up with Mr. Muita because of time. Muita, I I heard you for some seconds. You're welcome. Okay. Because of time, I'll just proceed with the webinar. Yeah. So yes, Humphrey, can you share with Mr. Momo the link again? Also, he wants to join also. Yeah. Now I believe everyone can see my screen. Yeah, this is solution tag. This is drone inspection, and we know that drones they cover a lot of sectors, but we are focusing mainly on the drone inspection and in oil and gas industry, but also extension to other industries. So as I said before, the webinar main focus will be about revolutionizing industrial inspection with drone technology and the benefits which it offers. And as you can see, it is about safety, efficiency of inspection, and cost savings. So as I said, I'm Elia Lema. I am the AIM coordinator, Solution Tag, and I'll be taking you through today's webinar. So the main purpose of this webinar today was to cover these three objectives, and others. I know you saw our article. Others will follow just because of time. So the first objective will be about the how drones can benefit you during the inspection, uh, mainly on the inspection time, the cost of inspection, and the efficiency or the accuracy of the data which you're collecting. The second objective will be to learn the how we use the drone to detect these anomalies which we can find in the facilities. And when I talk of facilities, I mean the tanks, pipes. It can be fittings. It can be oil pressured vessels. It can be chimney boilers. All issues which we can see later, and also see some of the real examples in other industries how they use drones for the inspections or different purposes. So, without further ado, I think we have to introduce first what are drones. And by now, I'm sure most of us we have heard of drones. Uh, so, drones are basically robots. Yeah, other they call them robots, advanced robots. Francis, can you check with Mr. Momo, please? Yeah. So drones, they are aerial vehicles that can be controlled remotely or independently through software regulated flight plans within embedded system. So you find each drone has a hardware and a software. The hardware is the one which is propelling the drone to fly, to navigate through the aerial space. And then we have the software which they control the flight plan, where it has to, what it has to do, what function it has to overcome, the sensors, how they coordinate. That's the part of software. So in other words, drones, these are robots which they fly to get different data, collect different data, uh, or to perform different functions. Of course, we see different varieties. And just to pitch this out, nowadays we also have drones which are submergible. That means they can navigate through water. They are used undersea. So, and also, as I said, drones have different sensors for different purposes, which we see later. And also, drone have different acronyms of which, when you meet them, they they simply mean drone. So you have a UAV, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAS, unmanned aerial aircraft system, RPA, remotely piloted aircraft, and UAS, unmanned aircraft system. Now, as you can see, all of these, they have three parts. First, it is unmanned. Second, it is the vehicle itself. And the third, a control system. Yeah. So all these are they mean drone uh, vehicles. But also, where did the drone come from? Just a simple history. So first, drones were used mainly during the military in 1900s. They were first seen in military sector. They were first used for training, and thereafter it became for surveillance or to spy enemies. And then after that, they became advanced and used during the wars. We have seen now we had drones that they could carry bombs and drop them. So first, the military is the sector which introduced the drones. And after that, in early 200s, we started to see the drones in different sectors, maybe for delivery, photography and videos, which most of us now we have seen them during the education activities or sort of such. So that was the simple history regarding the drone. So, but what vehicle when you see it, you identify it as a drone? Or in other words, what are the types of drones that are available now? So we have different perspective or classification categories that we can use to uh, categorize the drones. First, we have according to the operation mode, or we say the propelling method, the wings and rotors. As you can see, my cursor, we have rotary wings, and in this you can find the single rotary wing or multiple. We have fixed wing, which they have the shape of normal planes, and also we have hybrid, which they employ the both rotary wings and also the fixed wing technology. Also, we have drone category classification according to the power which they use to propel the vehicle. Some use batteries, most of them. Some use gasoline, some hydrogen fuel, some solar. Also, we have different classification criteria, which is the function, what the function which the drone can perform. Here is where we see the drone application in different industries. As you can see, we have search and rescue. Recently, we had an event or an incident where a child was lost in the forest, and then they used a drone to track down through heat signatures to know where the child was, and likely they found. So this is one of the application of drone. We have surveillance, as I said, in military or security purposes, traffic monitoring, weather monitoring, yeah, to access those high altitudes, firefighting, which is also has been increasing in application in recent years. Personal use, of course, a person can own a drone for maybe videography or photography. Also, some they are special for photography, videography. Some are used for in agriculture to spray pesticides, irrigation. Also, delivery drones. now drones are capable of carrying even 200 kilograms of load. That's how far we have gone with drone technology. And also inspection, as which will be the main focus today, and also in military. Military, I think I've talked a little bit about it. So let us now dive into drone inspection. What basically is drone inspection? So drone inspection involves using unmanned aerial vehicles or the drones for visual inspection and data collection. And the main purpose of this is to help in maintenance program or facilitate expansion. Of course, we have other different types of application, for example, in construction or changing the structures. Yeah, drone inspection can also be applicable. So, how do drones benefit when we do inspection? Now, most of us we are used to traditional means of inspection, where we use the human being intervention to do inspection. That means someone has to go and check: is the pump okay? Is the tank okay? Is there rust somewhere? Uh, um, how like maybe the tank is in calibration, calibrating the tank volume and so forth. Yeah. But now using drones for inspection has several benefits. Today I'll be just talking mainly on four benefits. Number one is saving inspection time. Um Comparing human intervention and drone technology, drone they are way more faster. For example, the Matrix 350 RDK has the top speed of 22 meter per second. That is the flight speed. That means it can cover way more larger area in a shorter period of time compared to a human being can do or an inspector can do. But not only that, drone inspection can save costs for inspection. Sometimes when you want to do inspection, you have to hire specialists. For example, the ones who can reach work at height. Not all people can work at height. And also equipment, you have to rent equipment such as scaffolding. But using drone, you don't have to rent all this. You just use your controller and the drone, it reaches far above the normal walking height and also at a quicker pace. So in conjunction of this drone and the speed, you can inspect a larger area in a short period of time, reducing the any shutdown periods if you need any, or the amount of days which you required for inspection. For instance, if you require 2 days for human being to inspect a facility, now you can just wait for 1 or 2 hours. Also, there are safety concerns. Drones, they help to enhance that culture of safety, but not only that, to improve it, rather, I can say. Why? Because we have different conditions where we have to work. For example, as you can see in these pictures, we have confined spaces. We have work at height. And as you can see, confined spaces now you don't have to send someone inside the confined spaces. Rather, you just use a drone. As you can see, it has a cage structure to avoid collision with a tank or in a vessel. Now, instead of using someone with ropes or scaffolding to do all this is an unsafe act. Now you just have to use the drone. Yeah. So you don't have to send your workers or especially to these dangerous heights or chemicals or anything. And also the good thing, the drones now they have anti-collision sensors where when they see an obstacle, they avoid it instead of going to collide with the obstacle. But other advantage of this is the improving the inspection accuracy and data storage. Now, as you can see, for instance, this is the tank. It's a little bit harder for any human being to see with the naked eyes this level of corrosion at this point. But now, using high resolution sensors and cameras, drone can capture this all this data, and so you can see it very clearly. You see the level of corrosion in the tank in areas where human being, even if I know sometimes people can climb the tanks and walk on top, but there are areas which they cannot see. So the drone, because it can go at this height, navigate through these spaces, it can perform inspection better. But also, after acquiring the data, it is simpler now to store that data for future reference or maintenance plans. That's how drone can benefit us in inspection. So also, I want to talk about which was the second objective of this webinar. Uh, it was about defects or anomalies identification and sizing. So how do we use a drone to detect maybe you have a certain fault in your facility or in your vessel? It can be pipeline, storage tanks. It can be power lines, towers, chimneys, any. We use drones to detect all these anomalies. Now, it can be internal and external. Of course, we see how, but how we do it, this is the drone, this is the vehicle. And here is where we attach the sensor that they can detect this anomaly. So this is the sensor. In other words, we call it a payload. So depending on what the objective is or what you want to find in your facility, you can change this sensor to a different sensor to get what you need. Of course, we'll see how these different anomalies can be detected with different sensors. For instance, we have leakage. You can detect a leakage in your facility. This is the payload which we attach to the drone, where it can detect any gas leakage, however small it is. Uh, Now, for example, for most of us we know in our facility we install these pressure gauges, it is a safe indicator when we have leakage. We know the pressure will drop. Or in other words, we have clear sight of this instrument, so we can see the leakage. But now there are areas where it is remote. Not every time there's an operator is passing by, or sometimes the leakage can be minute, so it is difficult to see by human eyes. So there's where the drone technology can improve detection of leakages. Also, we have thermal sensor or the thermal camera. We attach it also to the drone. And as you can see, so the thermal sensor, it is superior to the normal vision. Why? Because it can see even places which are behind obstacles. For instance, these are underground pipes, and this was a parking lot. This line here, it is passing underneath the concrete, but through the thermal camera, we can detect this type of leakage. This was a steam pipeline. So upon seeing this deviation in the heat signatures, that means this place is hot compared to the surrounding environment, and the signature or the alignment of these lines, it shows that this area there's a leakage underneath. Also, this for this pipeline, this is a huge underground pipe. Um, as you can see, we have different heat signatures, signifying that there's a problem here. So even before doing excavation throughout the pipeline, it is simpler now for you to perform drone inspection and see the areas which are troublesome. So we have to go to a specific area and perform maintenance. But also we have different type of sensors, such as this is the high resolution camera. So as you can see, this is the chimney, which is very high. Can be about chimneys can be very high, from 10 meters, some to even 30 meters, going higher. So sometimes it is not simple for anyone to reach this area. But since drone can go to more than 15 or 30 or 100 meters above the ground, they can see all these anomalies which are happening. These are cracks on the chimney. Yeah. Also, this is the tank. Yeah. It can not get through these places and see that there's a corrosion somewhere. So for you, this is a clear indication or area indication for you to start planning for maintenance. It can be painting, or it can be coating to apply coating, any procedure which the industry or the client has according to the internal policies. But also we have different type of sensor. For example, this is LiDAR sensor. Um, LiDAR sensor. So this is basically laser scanning technology, or in other terms, some call it light detection and ranging. So through this sensor, we can develop 3D models or detect anomalies in the facilities. As you can see, we have two different types of flight here. The first one was performed inside the tank, the second one outside. So after the combination of these two, uh, after analyzing the data, we got a 3D model of the tank. So how can you benefit from this? As you can see, from here, you can get the volumetric capacity of the tank calibration, the overflow location, and not only that, but also if you have a dent in the tank, I mean, we have a third part impact on the tank, so there's a maybe a compression on one of the shell, all that you get through the 3D model. And also after some times, you know that the thing they tend to perform settling. So as per the construction and during the operation phase, the tank alignment is different. So through this scanning, we can know what's the status of your facility. So this is how we use these different sensors to detect all these anomalies or defects inside the facilities. But now there's another sensor, which of course this one is a upcoming one. This is the UT thickness gauge, which can also be incorporated during NDT and also during the tank calibration. Yeah. So as you can see, also it has its own safety initiatives. It has a cage or the structure which they can protect the propellers, because the drone itself has to be very in contact with the facilities to perform the thickness measurement or the crack detection. So this can be helpful when you want to perform NDT on when you have a facility which is going at very high heights above the ground, or areas which are not easily accessible. So as you can see through all those sensors, now we can also combine both of two of them in one package during the inspection. So this one, it reduces the number of runs, and also you get two types of data. For example, this one is gas detection thermal camera. So the benefit of thermal camera and gas detection, they are combined together, and you get through one inspection. So there's no need of swapping out after doing one, then you do the other. So this can reduce also the inspection costs and such. Um, so I think at this point, Mr. Momo, I want to welcome Mr. Momo. Francis, is Mr. Momo in? Humphrey?
Hello. So he's actually joining soon. He was having
Okay,
trouble joining. We just sent him new details to enter the meeting.
okay,
So he'll be here soon.
okay. No worries. I think at this point we'll proceed with questions. Then once he joins, then we'll proceed also. Yes, I would like to welcome any question from the audience if there's any question. Yes, anyone with a question, you're welcome. Okay. I think the topic was self-explanatory or well understood. Mr. Albariki,
Yes, Mr. Elia.
in a moment, I have a question for Mr. Mwita. You're welcome, Mr. Mwita.
Thank you. I would like us to ask that this drone which do inspection, are they remote controlled or are those which are just planned, they are pre-planned route before which they'll go, then they just direct themselves, or they are remote controlled?
Thank you very much for the question. So basically, we have both. Yeah, the same drone. We have a remote control to control the drone, but also we can input the flight plan inside the drone software, so that after discussing what type of facility, the extension of it, where you want to inspect, all those data we gather them, and then we program the drone to fly automatically. So to put it simply is that we can do both. If we need a closer look or a double check for a specific area, we use the remote control. But also for the same case, we can do automatic inspection using by programming the drone. Does that answer your question, Mr. Abita?
Sure, it do answer my question. And also I wanted to know if this drone, you are just, they have, at the beginning you explained different part of the drones. There's payload, there is control, then there's software part. Are you
Yeah.
assembling all those parts yourselves, or you do pre-order them already assembled it for the inspection purpose? Because the drones have different purpose, but do you order the drone according to the purpose which you want to do? Like you do order specifically for inspection, or you just order a drone, then you come customize it for inspection?
Now, the drone itself does a lot of function. I think I also explained earlier. It can be just basically videography, photography. But today I was mainly talking about inspection. So you can find, for example, during the inspection, we have several sensors. So according to what you want us to inspect, and upon agreement, that's where we decide to use specific sensors for such task. But the drone itself can do, for example, through the camera sensor, you can do surveillance. Through the camera sensor, you can do inspection work. So the drone can perform different tasks depending on the sensor which we can put. So all these sensors, they are in house.
Thank you. I understood that part. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have Mr. Momo. Mr. Momo, this is our expert from, he's working in Tanzania and also in Kenya.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yeah, you're welcome.
You can hear you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
can hear you. So
Yes.
just round up about the webinar. We were just waiting for you. I understand you had technical difficulties to join us, but please, you're welcome. You can share your insight regarding the drone
Thank you.
inspection. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dennis Mumo. I am the Managing Director, GeoCat Surveys and Engineering Solutions. Of course, GeoCat is a company that is based in Kenya, but we, been very much active within the region, not just here in Kenya, but in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Congo, Rwanda, just the countries within the region. And of course, we are very young. Is the character of the people most of the times tend to spearhead, or into tech. Of course, the company, we understand that within the region, drone use has, just started not so long ago. And one of the things that has been probably inhibiting and sort of dragging the process of adoption has been mainly to do with issues of regulations. You find that most of the countries they have some set of regulations in as far as operation and commercial operations, or even private use of drones is concerned. And why so? Of course, this is because of the issue of security and privacy that is mostly associated with drones. We've seen drones being used for not so good activities. We've seen drone either in countries which are in war, like Ukraine and Russia, being used to in such circumstances. And so it goes without saying that you will find that that control is very critical, because the same drone that is being used for inspection, it can also be used to, in a destructive way, or in a scenario where it can be able to obtain data that is not that probably from another person or another entity that is not willing to share that data. And for that reason, I think that is why most of these governments, they have set up these regulations to make sure that people who are coming into in this space to adopt this technology, they follow the criteria that has been set. As much as we are saying that from one country to another, there are different types of regulations, but when you look at them keenly, you find that there are also a lot of similarities, because most of us, we borrow from each other, even from here in Kenya. Most of the times, when we come back and we have the stakeholders meetings, we are able to compare notes, and we look at like regulations in countries like South Africa, we look at Tanzania, we look at probably even some other countries in Europe, and then we are able to look at best practice in terms of just to make sure that at the same time, as much as there are regulations, we don't also limit the operations, so that there is no limitation, because once also the restrictions become so much, then it means that the industry will be limited in terms of growth. So much about regulations. I think today's topic is a very pertinent and important topic, and one of the reasons being because drones are a component in what has been described as the fourth industrial revolution. One of the main things, or one of the main components of the fourth industrial revolution worldwide is it is characterized by now emergence of things like robots, artificial intelligence, big data, and all these other things that we are seeing describing coming together to describe a drone, because a drone is a culmination of very many technologies which have been harnessed to now to describe it. And this is so because if, say, for example, we are talking about inspection, there are a number of technologies that are there. Of course, there is the sensors technology, there is the battery technology, we are talking about microchip technology, and all these other things. And the reason why now all of a sudden we seem to be experiencing drones being in all these industries, because drones are being used in so many industries. Of course, I'm sure that has been covered in things like surveillance, survey and mapping, inspections, in things like precision farming, and so on and so forth. And what varies from one industry to another, I'm sure, as I've been discussing, is the issue of the type of sensor that you are going to use, and of course, also the specifications of the drone. Mostly, myself, I've been we've been using drones on mostly survey and mapping, and not just survey and mapping, but also on inspections for things like power grids. We've done a project here in the country with the local power generating company for inspection of their power lines, and not just the lines themselves, but also the other accessories that form part of the distribution network for power. And what sets this, of course, the drones apart and sets them in such a case that you prefer them more is, well, of course, the fact that they are able to give you so much data. You're able to get so much data, as opposed to when you want to do it manually, where you're sending somebody to go up those like pylons, or to go and inspect those items manually. And of course, we've experienced even as part of what we've seen we've been told stories by people in these professionals, like now guys who manage these infrastructure, where there have been accidents, either people have been electrocuted. And of course, the good thing is with drones, you are cutting this exposure, where people are being exposed to dangerous exercises. And apart from that, also the issue of efficiency, in that you are able to cover very long distances and get very accurate data at the same time. Apart from that, of course, in terms of inspection, we've also been involved in projects for doing, like creation of 3D models. And this is more, comes in more when, you're trying to either recreate a site. And of course, you want to be able to recreate this site of professional, be it either designers, people who are doing designs, so that they can be able to look at this virtual representation of the site, and using it, come up with decisions that can assist. And this is this has been so, the reception like here in Kenya is so good because people and do those inspections and whatnot, and measurements, because we have softwares that are able to assist in doing these models, and at the same time also apart from measurements, also visually appreciating, so that at the end of the day, when this engineer or designer is making decisions, design decisions, then you find that they are very well informed. They are able to visualize, see if there is any structural weaknesses and things like that. And I think this is one of the biggest positives about drones, as much as we've said that there are also disadvantages, because as much as we, there is also the issue of when you are you get to be on site. There are things that probably you get to meet the people there, you get that kind of first and interaction with people on site. But what we are saying is there's much more advantage to being able to collect this data digitally and transfer it, so that even if this engineer or designer is going to site, they are just going to site to now make those connections, and not spend so much time collecting data on site, but spend much of that time in the office processing and analyzing and trying to come up with solutions. Yeah, so thank you very much. As I said, apologies, I had some issues joining. My computer was acting up. Yeah, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muno. Yeah, so I think now we welcome any other questions from the audience, if there's any question. Yeah, so of course, we coming next in the next webinar, we touch a little bit regarding the surveying, mapping, and 3D modeling. Also, we have how we can maximize the predictive maintenance using the drone technology. So now this goes the end of our webinar today. Please, if you have any question, you can just send us through the platforms, or through the email, or through my contact, as you can see through the screen. Whichever method which you think it is favorable to you. But thank you very much, guys. See you in the next webinar.